You actually have to show the work. All right. So we know that 13 doesn't go into 1, but it does go into 15 one time. Okay, 13 goes into 15 one time. And this is the process that we're going to use when we get into the polynomial stuff. We're going to take that number that we put on top. Right now it's a number, but it's going to be a variable later on. We're going to multiply these two together, and that's what goes underneath. Okay, 1 times 13 is 13. Then we're going to draw a line, and we subtract, right? Remember subtracting? So that would give us 2. Then we would bring the next number down. In this case, it's 7. And then we would do the process over again. 13 goes into 27 2 times, right? And we would take that 2, and we multiply 2 times 13. That gives us 26. And we subtract again. And then we bring down the next number, 13. 13 goes into 13 one time. We take 1 times 13 is 13. We subtract. We get a remainder 0. So the answer is 121. Remainder 0. Okay? Yes? No, because you can't unless you can put variables in. Okay? We're just using the process of just numbers so we can use that exact same process on polynomials. All right. So when dividing polynomials with long division, make sure each term is represented. So if you see that you're skipping an exponent, you need to put a 0x to whatever exponent's missing. So for example, x squared minus 8 is missing x to the first, so we would put in a 0x to the first in between where it's missing. Be sure you put a 0 there, not just x. You have to put a 0x. All right, so let's go ahead and do polynomial long division. All right, so we're dividing this trinomial by the binomial x minus 2. So x minus 2 goes on the outside. X squared plus 3x minus 10 goes on the inside. All right, it's going to seem weird at the beginning. I get it. It happens to everybody. And you're just going to have, the more you practice, the more routine it'll become. All right, so what you're looking at is the first term on the outside, which in this case it's x, and the first term on the inside, which is x squared. And you're going to ask yourself, what do you have to multiply by the x to get the inside, which is x squared? It's x. So, I mean, you're actually doing division, okay? You're asking yourselves, how many times does x go into x squared? Okay, it's kind of hard to think of it that way. So instead, do the opposite. Ask yourself, what do you have to multiply x by to get x squared? And it's x. All right, so then we take that x, and we're going to multiply. Now you're multiplying that x by, there's 2 terms in front, so you have to distribute. So you're going to take the x and distribute it over to the x and the negative 2. Now, as you multiply that, you're going to bring those answers down underneath, and you want to line up the like terms. All right, so x times x is x squared, so we're going to line it up under the other x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x, so we're going to line it up under just the x to the first power. All right. Now, with numbers, like up at the top, the next step would be to subtract. All right, now you have to be careful with subtraction on polynomials. Okay, we are subtracting, okay, but what happens is we're taking these 2 terms and subtracting off these 2 terms. So this is like in parentheses, and we're subtracting, and we're going to distribute the negative in, just like we did with the polynomial subtraction. We would distribute the negative. So it's the same thing. So what you're going to memorize is, once you multiply over, you're going to draw your line underneath, and then you're going to change both signs to their opposites. That's the same thing as distributing the negative in, or subtracting. All right, so we draw a line underneath. Then you're going to change both signs to their opposites. So if they were plus, change them to minus. If they were minus, change them to plus. That's the same thing as subtracting. Now we're just going to add down. So x squared minus x squared is 0. These first 2 terms should always, always, always cancel out. Okay, they have to cancel out. All right, now 3x plus 2x, we can add those together. That's 5x. We're just going to bring down the next term, minus 10. Now the process just repeats itself. Right? So now you're looking at the x on the outside and the 5x. And you're asking yourself, what do you have to multiply x by to get 5x? 5. And it's positive 5, so we're going to put a plus 5 on top. And we're going to take that positive 5 and distribute to the x and the negative 2 again. So 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. All right, we're going to draw a line underneath and change both signs to their opposites. Again, we're just distributing that negative in. Add down. The first terms cancel. On this one, negative 10 plus 10 is 0, so we have remainder 0. So our answer is what's on top, which is x plus 5. Right? So you have to be really careful with your math, adding, subtracting, the negatives, changing the signs. So the math isn't difficult, okay? It's just the process you have to remember, doing the same steps over and over again. All right, so let's do this next one. So x plus 3 is on the outside. 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. We can see that we're not skipping any exponents. Okay, it goes from exponent 2 to exponent 1 to the constant term. So there's no placeholder there either. All right, so x times what is 2x squared? 2x, right. All right, we'll take the 2x and distribute. So that's 2x squared plus 6x. We'll draw a line underneath, change both signs to their opposites, add down. First terms cancel. 5x plus negative 6x is negative 1x, or negative x. Bring down the minus 3. Okay, let's repeat it one more time. So x times what is negative x? Negative 1. Take the negative 1 and distribute that over. Negative x minus 3. Draw a line underneath. Change both signs to their opposites. Add down. That cancels out. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So our answer is 2x minus 1. All right, number 4. All right, so we're dividing by x minus 3, so that's going to go on the outside. Now, this starts with x to the third and then goes down to the constant term. There's two missing terms, the x squared and the x to the first. So we have to put two placeholders in. All right, so plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 27. All right, so x times what is x to the third? X squared. Take x squared and distribute. So that's x to the third minus 3x squared. Draw a line underneath. Change both signs to their opposites. Add down. First terms cancel. 0x squared plus 3x squared is 3x squared. Now you can bring down just the 0x, or you can bring down the minus 27 also at the same time. Polynomials are different than just with numbers. With polynomials, we can bring down everything if we want to. We just keep bringing everything down. You don't have to just bring one down at a time. It's up to you. All right, so let's go ahead and finish. X times what is 3x squared? 3x. All right, so we'll take 3x and distribute. So that's 3x squared minus 9x. Draw a line underneath. Change both signs to their opposites. Add down. First terms cancel. 0x plus 9x is 9x. Bring down that minus 27. We'll do this one more time. X times what is 9x? Plus 9. We'll distribute 9. 9x minus 27. Draw a line, change the signs to their opposites, add down, remainder 0 again. So our answer, x squared plus 3x plus 3. One thing that we can also notice, our answers, as you're putting things up here, they're always going to drop in degrees. All right? Start with the highest, whatever it is, and then the next one's going to go lower than the one before it. Okay? And the next one's going to go lower than the one before it. So you can't start with an x squared and then all of a sudden jump to an x to the third. Okay? Doesn't happen. It's going to drop in decreasing order, just like this is dropping in decreasing order. All right, so let's do 5. So 5, if you do it right, you should get a remainder 0. So you can go ahead and try it. All right, so when we take that x squared and distribute over, okay, keep in mind where you're placing your terms. Because we want the same exponents to be lined up underneath each other. So x squared times 2x squared is 2x to the fourth. We want to line it up here. X squared times negative 3 is negative 3x squared. So we want to line it up under the other x squared. Don't put it under the x to the third. All right, so we'll draw our line, change both signs to their opposites, add down. All right, so nothing is going to be added to the 14x to the third, so we just bring that down. 1x squared plus 3x squared is 4x squared. All right, you can bring down all the terms or just bring one down at a time. All right, so then this should be 7x plus 7x. Distribute 7x over. Minus 21x, so we're going to put it over here. Change the signs to their opposites, add down. Nothing adds to the 4x squared, so we bring the 4x squared down. Negative 21x plus 21x, that's 0. They cancel out. I'm going to bring down that minus 6. We'll do this one more time. It's going to be plus 2. We'll distribute the 2 over. Okay, Draw a line, change both signs to their opposites, add down, remainder 0. All right, so now we're going to look at problems where the remainder is not 0. So the only difference is how you're going to tack on the remainder part to the answer. All right, so let's go ahead and do 6. That's pretty quick. All right, so x goes in x squared, x times. Distribute. All right, so we get a remainder of 3 on this one. So the way you write your answer, you take the top part, which is x plus 1, and then plus, and then our remainder is 3, and then you're going to put it over what you were dividing by, x plus 2. So the remainder you add on as a fraction. So it's the number over what you were dividing by. All right. So if I just do a really easy problem, just so you can see it, if I had to do 5 divided by 3, okay, long division, 3 goes into 5 one time, I get a remainder 2. So that would look something like this. 5/3 is the same as 1 plus 2/3, or 1 and 2/3. So what you were dividing by is the denominator, the remainder is your numerator. All right, so let's go ahead and do these last two. See if you can get the remainder. All right, so you should get negative 46 as the remainder. All right, so our answer, x squared minus 4x plus 15 plus negative 46 over x plus 3. Now, it's up to you when your remainder is a negative number You can do plus negative, or that's the same thing as just putting a subtraction sign here and keeping this a positive. Okay. So you could write this as minus and then positive 46. All right, so let's do this last one, number 8.